Hello again and welcome to the 140k Imperial Guard Tactics video. Now before we get into today's video, I'd like to say a big thank you to Matthew Youngman for sending in these awesome pictures of his growing Imperial Guard army. Keep up the good work, Matthew. The Emperor will be proud of you. If anyone else has got any cool pictures they want me to use in my videos, please post them on my Facebook page and I will try to use them. There will be a link down in the description below. So without further ado, let's get on with today's video. Now we're going to look at a really interesting concept today, guys. We're going to look at Super Guardsmen. What do I mean by Super Guardsmen? Well, really interestingly, with the release of the new Inquisition stuff and the ability for Guard to get access to some pretty nifty psychic powers without losing our regiment trait and without having to take a separate attachment for the Inquisitors, we can really buff up our Guardsmen. And what we're going to be looking at today, and I'll probably do another follow-up video on this potentially, is how many buffs can you actually apply to a Guardsman squad now? So let's have a look. You could take 2 Guardsman squads. You could make them Destroyer, for example. Give them plasma pistols, plasma guns, and like a heavy weapon, let's say a las cannon. Why not? And then you could spend 1 CP to consolidate them. That's pretty good. And then you can get a 5+ invulnerable save from an Ordo Malleus Inquisitor. You can then add +1 to that save from Psychic Barrier from a Astropath, for example. You could then make them -1 to hit in shooting, thanks to Night Shroud, another psychic power. Then, if you're really lucky, you could get another psychic power off the new character from Blackstone Fortress, Aridia Medallon. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. That gives you +1 to hit. Then you can make them immune to morale. Now you can either do that through 2 CP, or you could do that through Psychic Power, Mental Fortitude. You could have reroll 1s thanks to Yarick. You could give them 1st rank fire, 2nd rank fire. You could then get reroll 1s to wound via Laurels of Command. Attempt to bring it down. Then you can add +1 to hit thanks to the Destroyer stratagem, which is why we chose Destroyer. And then lastly, you could get another +1 to save thanks to the Take Cover stratagem, which is only 1 CP. So the end result is you've got at least a 20-man blob. Now you could keep adding squads to this. You've got a 20-man squad that has a 3+ save. If you're in cover, that's a 2+ save. You've got an extra 6-inch range in all the important guns. You've got a 4+ invulnerable save. You've got 6 plasma shots, 34 lasgun shots, 2 las cannon shots, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s to hit, and rerolling 1s to wound, and immune to morale. Now that's really, really interesting. That's what we remember saying. What prompted this line of thinking? Well, this was actually started by someone on the Bolter and Chainsword forum. Really interesting forum, guys. Do recommend you guys check it out. It does have a lot of really in-depth tactics areas, and it's not quite as busy as places like Daka, which are really, really good, but often there's a lot of traffic on there. So yeah, just before going any further, I do want to say thank you to user STTAB for starting that thread and pointing out all these buffs that you can add onto it. I don't want to necessarily take credit for something that I didn't come up with the original idea for. Now there are other buffs I'm sure you could think about. I mean, what about adding a priest in there for +1 attack? What about if you were Katachan, you could add Strachan in there as well? That's pretty crazy. There's a lot of buffs on that you can put on Guardsmen, which is really, really interesting. I just thought it was worth mentioning. Now, realistically, we've taken it to the extreme, but realistically, are we really likely to do that? To put all those buffs onto 20 men? Well, probably not. Probably not, to be fair. When I took a look at this, I thought the realistic level of buffs that you want to apply, because you're going to start reaching a point of diminishing returns. The realistic level of buffs that I would put on this is I would take 2 squads and I would combine them, and I'd just take the plasma gun and las cannon. Wouldn't bother with the plasma pistols. I'd have the Ordo Malleus guy because 5++ power, 5+ to vulnerable save power is great. I'd then have a Astropath, and I would choose to either have the +1 save power, or I would have go for the -1 to hit. I'd choose one or the other, and then I'd take a junior officer just to order them, and then I'd use the +1 armor save strat. So you could have a squad of Guardsmen that has 4 invulnerable save with -1 to hit. That's pretty good, actually. That is pretty good. So that's reasonably priced as well. That would be 2 squads of Guardsmen with those upgrades is going to be about 70 points roughly. So that's 140 points combined. 70 points each, 140 points. So then you've got your Ordo Malleus Inquisitor, which is going to be about 55 points, plus the Astropath, which is going to be 25 points, 26 points. So that's 80 points. So you're looking at about 220 points, plus the junior officer, plus that's it. So 240 points. That's what you could get, and that's not bad. And think about this: you think it's 240 points, but you could do that every turn. You could just keep piling men in, and it's interesting. And I'm going to talk about this. I'll talk about this now. I was going to do a separate video for it, but I'll talk about it now. This is like building a power blob. Now, a lot of people see consolidate squads as the as a strategy to rescue a saved sergeant or a saved special weapon guy and bring it into a 10-man squad, and then he's got more wounds again. Yeah, totally. But this actually gives us the ability to take to want to combine 2 full squads of guys. You're going to want to get 20 men together in that squad to then put the 5+ invulnerable save power on them. You're going to want to then next turn, hopefully the enemy hasn't shot them, to add another. You can just keep adding squads in. Just keep adding squads in. And if you think about it, I've done this, and if you guys want a good example of me doing something similar, but I didn't have access to the Inquisitor at the time, take a look at it's probably about a year ago, I did a battle report. Pure Infantry Imperial Guard versus the Tau gun line. And in that battle report, I kept adding together squads using the consolidated squad. And I got up to about 30, I think I got 35 guys in a squad. And the reason that Johnny wasn't targeting them, that Tau wasn't targeting them, was because there were plenty of other squads out there that were easier for him to kill. And this squad, always had the +1 to save power on it. And it always had the -1 to hit with nitrile on it. And then I would always, if he ever threatened to target it, I'd be like, I'm just going to put +1 save on that. I'm just going to put +1 save on it. And it made for the tower, it's like no point in targeting that squad because it was a 3 guards with a 3-up save and -1 to hit. So it encouraged him to attack other squads as well. Now imagine if you've got a 5+ invulnerable save on there as well. That's really good. That's really, really good. You could spread out the love a little bit. Or you could just put all those buffs on one squad. And imagine by sort of turn 3, turn 4, you could have a 40-man blob. That's just really difficult for your opponent to deal with. Really difficult. One other way that I actually see this working really well, and something I'm going to start thinking about my Steel Legion, is imagine you've got a couple of chimeras with guys in. You drive those chimeras forward turn 1, you pop smoke on them, and then turn 2, you get both of your squads out, consolidate squad, 5+ power, -1 to hit, +1 save, in the enemy's face, get a priest nearby, and you've got a squad that's going to have a 5+, 4+ invulnerable save, 5+ minimum, 4+ with potentially, with a -1 to hit, with a 3+ armor save, which are going to start tearing people apart in close combat. Imagine doing that with Catachans. Imagine doing that with Catachans in chimeras, 2 chimeras, driving up. They jump out. We've got 20 guys. We've got 3+ save, 4+ vulnerable, -1 to hit. You've got a priest nearby. You could have Strachan nearby. And you could be an Emperor's Conclave infantry formation. So then you've got 20 guys with 3 attacks each. That's 60 attacks that are never going to disappear. That are going to be really difficult for your opponent to shift. Which are rerolling 1s in close combat, which is strength 4. That's a threat. And that's a threat you can't easily ignore. And what that's going to do is just tie up so much of the enemy. It's going to tie up so much of the enemy. You're just going to start tagging enemy units with that just stupid blob of guys. And you could get another squad, one turn, drive it up and just add it in. Just add it in. 10 more guys. It makes it really powerful. Really, really powerful. Having a 5+ invulnerable save, which you can boost up to 4+ easily, I think is going to have some really good consequences for the Guard. Really good implications. Anyway, they're the sort of mega buffs that I've thought of. You know, the absolute madness. And then I've talked about how I do it realistically. That, you know, what would you guys do? What would you do? That's what I've talked about. I do. I'm sure I've missed some buffs. If there's anything that people think that I've missed, please put them down in the comments below. Because it's good to, it's good to look at, you know, how ridiculously you can buff something. But it also you can also look at some just relatively just middle of the road combos that actually turn out to be really powerful. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And of course, I'll see you guys next time.